welcome again to the big match. Today we feature the game that stood head and shoulders above all the others this weekend, Liverpool against Crystal Palace, with so much to say for itself at the top of the First Division. But our main match had a big bearing on the top of the second, Chelsea against Swansea City. We follow that one up with Newcastle against Queen's Park Rangers and then round off the programme with extensive highlights of that game between Liverpool and Palace. We shall also be looking at your letters, which I know will be of particular interest to Watford and Tottenham fans. And I'll be telling you about our special Christmas big match programme that comes up next weekend. But first we go to Stamford Bridge to see Chelsea challenging right at the top of the Second Division against Swansea City and to pick out a couple of long-serving characters in the game.
Ian Callaghan is getting towards the end of a career in which you can be sure he's never caused any of his managers a moment's loss of sleep. A truly great professional. Today playing his 699th league game, well over 800 in all. A career which started at Liverpool in 1960, 19 years ago. The same year that Ron Harris started out on a career in which he's played all his football at Chelsea, and it's amazing to think that the pair of them had been playing league football a year before 18-year-old Colin Pates was even born. Colin in the Chelsea side for the injured Mickey Droy. And 2 years before 17-year-old Jim Loveridge was born. Jim, the Swansea sub today, his first league game, and he's only signed as a pro 3 weeks ago. The Chelsea team then, without Mickey Droy in defence, he's got a back injury, and also without defender Graham Wilkins, John Sparrow now takes his place, and up front Tommy Langley gets the number 9 shirt with Lee Frost out injured. Swansea, they make no changes. First Division experience in this side, spread through it in fact with men like Leighton Phillips, formerly of Aston Villa, John Mahoney, formerly Stoke and Middlesbrough, Alan Waddle, formerly Liverpool, as well as Ian Callaghan himself. The referee today is Gilbert Napthine from Silesby in Leicestershire, the first time he's been in charge of a league game at Stamford Bridge. There's Chelsea who kick off on this heavily sanded pitch. A lot of rain in London this week. And Chelsea in the all-dark strip attacking the goal to our right. Swansea in their customary all-white with black socks. Swansea who beat Charlton last week after 3 successive defeats. Conversely, Chelsea lost last week at Oldham after 5 successive wins. This is Jeremy Charles, the son of Mel Charles, number 4. And Chivers missing out on that one. Robbie James getting a shot in there, and that wasn't far wide of Peter Barota's far post. Robbie James, the Welsh international, snapping up a chance there, getting in a good, powerful shot, which had Barota diving across his goal, but it was just wide. To John Bumstead, Ron Harris again, the 2 number 11s, the 2 old stagers having a little battle there, and Harris fooling Callaghan. But it was Waddle's head that got in the way there. And that's going out of play there for a throw to Chelsea. Clive Walker with it, and they're a little slow here, Swansea, and the shot in fact by Tommy Langley in the end causing no problems, but the problems were there in the first place because of a lot of slackness in that Swansea defence when Walker took that throw. It's a very breezy afternoon and most of the breeze is behind Chelsea. With a quarter of an hour gone, no score. John Sparrow on the ball now for Chelsea. Good bit of pace there by him. And the cross for Walker, hit first time, and Bumstead has scored! So Chelsea into the lead with a quarter of an hour gone. A goal that was really set up for them by a really good break by John Sparrow, and an interesting cross when it came in, pulled back there. Walker didn't quite get the touch he wanted, but it fell beautifully for Bumstead. Past Leatheran, 1-0. Chelsea 1, Swansea 0. John Bumstead the scorer, and that's only the second time he scored this season. Walker. Harris. Good switch there to Langley. A little touch there for Britain. Some good little passing movements beginning to develop by Chelsea. Britain losing out there. Walker just nicking it through to Bumstead. Locke is available on this side, trying a long shot. My word, how close. What a goal that would have been. Gary Locke, who's not scored this season, rounding off a really intricate and accurate little passing movement by Chelsea with a shot from, well, 35 yards at least. I thought for a moment the wind might just whip it in by the post, but it went just the wrong side from Chelsea's point of view. James. Well, Anthony after this one. And the cross cut out by Pates. Fillery, but it's into touch. Phillips. Mahoney. James for Mahoney. Promising Swansea move is this one. And Chivers just sliding in there to dispossess Alan Waddle. And here go Chelsea now. Britain. To Langley. Bumstead has gone forward. And Rushbury's challenge was a good one. Phillips. Rushbury. Oh, that could be dangerous. Rushbury now has given it to Walker. And across the face of the goal. Well, it's not away yet. Charles having a battle there, but it's coming back again towards Langley, coming to Walker. But the best chance of all might well have disappeared for Chelsea, because Swansea have got nearly everybody back. A little chip in there, a nod out by Bumstead for Harris. Will he let one fly? Well, straight at goalkeeper level. What a bad back pass that was, though, by Rushbury a moment ago, which let Walker in, and he pushed it just a little too close to the byline, so that the angle really was all against him when he tried the shot. But across the face of the goal it went. So here's Chelsea again with Fillery. Played in this time for Walker. Bobbed up well there, Mike Fillery. And Walker's ground shot, well saved by Leatheran. Sparrow. Here's Fillery. Nice cross came in well there, almost reached Walker. Langley trying to make something of it. And Swansea very slow to get this one away. Now they've got it away, but they haven't. They've given away a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. For the foul on Tommy Langley, getting up there then. They were certainly a bit sluggish getting that one away, Swansea. They had plenty of people back there, but the decisive clearance just was not forthcoming. So now, can Chelsea do something with this? Leatheran behind a five-man Swansea wall. Fillery and Britton are the men behind this. Britton with a little chip. Knocked off the top of the wall, in fact, for the corner. So Britain will now take this corner with about 7.5 minutes to go to half-time. Britain's corner, played in there towards Langley, and very nearly went right the way through. Chivers! And Leatheran got it at the last. It was a corner slung in low there by Britain, and it fooled Swansea, and I think it may have fooled some of the Chelsea men who were up as well. And Leatheran somehow got behind it. And then when it came out from Chivers, managed to grab it again. Callaghan, Mahoney, Fillery, a nice little touch there for Britain. Played back now for Sparrow. Hit in first time by the full-back, and Jeremy Charles was there at the expense of a corner for Chelsea. Britain as we come to the last minute of the first half, but the wind has caught the ball again. To replace it, Britain with the corner again, slung in low, and Chivers again was very nearly there. Sparrow played short there for Britain, straight at Leatherin. Mind you, Ian Britton's had a good scoring record of late. He's scored 6 goals all season, but 5 of those have come in the last 6 games. Ian Britton. Oh, a bad kick by Leatherin, whose kicking hasn't been all that brilliant most of the afternoon, I must say. But we're into injury time at the end of the first half. Leighton Phillips with the free kick for Swansea. Played in there towards Swaddle, but Gary Chivers covering well. As the final whistle goes, a lively first half for Chelsea at any rate, with John Bumstead's goal being the one that's given them the goal lead, but one they just about deserve. They've looked the more enthusiastic and aggressive coming forward. They've got 1 or 2 good passing movements together. Swansea themselves have moved well towards the Chelsea penalty area, but have really just lacked a good final pass. A lot to come on the big match today, including Liverpool against Crystal Palace. But the half-time score then here at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 1, Swansea 0. We'll be back with the second half. Welcome back to Stamford Bridge. Swansea then attacking the goal to our right in the white strip, but Swansea are a goal down, John Bumstead having scored for Chelsea in the first half. In fact, Swansea have won only 1 game away from home in the second division this season, and that was at Cambridge. Brian Atley now for them, number 8. Callaghan. And in the end, a corner. Ian Britton's pass back to Peter Barota, just that little bit too firm. He seemed to be in a little bit of a muddle himself. And so a corner for Swansea in the first minute of the second half. Big Alan Waddle will present a threat at that near post. Here's Callaghan, can he reach him? Well, didn't have to be a big fella to worry about that one. Now, Callaghan lifting, well, he's still throwing it in a bit on the low side, and it was Bumstead who got it away. To Fillery, who spotted Langley making a break. What a superb ball there, played by Fillery, and Langley couldn't quite get on the end of it. Well, here's Britain. A little nick out there for Bumstead again, calling for an accurate cross. Now Fillery, is this number 2? No, it's not, and it should have been. Well, Bumstead made a good break there for Chelsea, and it swung across that Swansea goal It looked as though Fillery, if he'd hit it first time, he might have had a better chance. Chelsea corner, Fillery with it. Harris. Chivers in there, little backward pass there, looking for Langley. Goal kick. And the referee very firm about that. James. Nice bit of skill and very neat and a good pass there for Attlee, but Fillery cutting it out well for Chelsea. And finding Britain. Played wide for Bumstead. And forward first time for Langley. Onside this time. Leathern has come part of the way. Langley's gone past him and gone down. No penalty. Well, Tommy Langley furious with that, and it certainly did appear that the goalkeeper had made a contact with Langley, but Langley's dive, and an obvious dive afterwards, might well have told against him. Nice little backward header there by Waddle, and James is in there. Barota bravely out at the Swansea number 9's feet. Good piece of brave goalkeeping there. And the first real indication on that this game where Waddle's heading ability could put Chelsea in trouble. Britain doing well. Played in towards Langley, and it's not away yet. Leathern having a go for it, and it might come for Walker, and it's gone wide of the goal, and a goal kick. What a remarkable incident when that ricochet, Langley hurt there. But when that ricochet suddenly had the ball spinning in the air, Leathern and Langley were going for it, and the goalkeeper didn't really get a touch on it at all. And suddenly it looked as though Walker might be presented with an open goal, but then the Swansea defenders closed in, and it's a goal kick. Mahoney. On the far side. Cross coming in there towards Mahoney from Rushbury. A Swansea throw. Well, Stevenson going a long way through. And a chance for Robbie James. He's hit the crossbar. Well, that looked a heaven-sent opening there with a smile on his face. There's a disappointment there as well from Robbie James, because it really looked a golden opportunity there for the equaliser. But it thudded against the Chelsea crossbar, and Barota was glad to grab it. Mahoney. Now Britain. Callaghan. And a throw to Chelsea. Free kick for Swansea. Foul by Clive Walker. Maybe a chance for a quick Chelsea break now. Bumstead on his way. And that's a good ball in for Langley. And Langley is going to make it two. The ball fell for him, and in the end it was just a simple tap over the line with Leathern still way outside his penalty area, as you can see there. The long ball through, which was an absolute beauty. Leathern was out of his goal, there were other Swansea defenders around, and suddenly the ball bounded free of them all and at the feet of Tommy Langley. And from that moment on, it was simplicity itself. Chelsea 2, Swansea 0. Tommy Langley brought back to the side, scoring his second goal of the season. And poor Glenn Leatheran came roaring out of his penalty area, not for the first time in this game, and this time it didn't fall for him. Well, it was meant to come to Walker in the end, but not quite in that way. Walker now sending Fillery on his way, played in there, but the idea was a good one. Played in just a little too firmly in front of those front men coming in, giving Langley and Bumstead no chance of making the touch. Swansea are going to make a substitution now. Number 6, Nigel Stevenson, is going off. And there he is, the young man who's going to make his first appearance in the league, Jim Loveridge, just 17 a fortnight ago, and he's been a pro only 3 weeks. He's a forward, and Swansea are looking for goals. Loveridge getting past Chivers, a little pass there and a good one for Waddle, paid back again for Loveridge, but in the end Chivers had just a little bit too much pace for him. But a nice little touch on the way there by young Jim Loveridge, and a corner now for Swansea. Well, they're taking off Clive Walker, and Gary Johnson's coming on for the last 7 or 8 minutes. Gary Johnson, a striker, coming on, 4 goals this season. Clive Walker's off. James crossing it, Barota catching it, and throwing it. Johnson, no, that's out of play, a Swansea throw. Callaghan. Giles. Attlee. Oh, what a nice bit of play there by Brian Attlee. Robbie James. Well, we're going to see a late burst from Swansea as James gets in there. A good piece of keeping this time by Barota, cutting out that cross. Because James really hit that one. Callaghan. Phillips. Callaghan. Stevenson, or rather Rushbury. Callaghan. Waddle. Rushbury. And again. Mahoney. Free kick. Dave Rushbury then with the free kick for Swansea. Mahoney turning it in. And a shot. Oh, hit the post there from Alan Waddle. In fact, it was Jeremy Charles who hit that post. And he's right in there again now. Giles trying to make something of it. Mahoney. Now Callaghan. Little surge right at last here by Swansea. I fancy it might be a little too late. And here's Fillery on the break. Langley up ahead of him. Fillery's gone on and still onside. Across the goal there. And Johnson has made it 3. So Gary Johnson has only been on for 3 or 4 minutes as the Chelsea substitute. Certainly puts the issue beyond any doubt at all. I'm not at all sure though that Langley wasn't offside when he took that pass. It must have been touch and go, but having played it there into the middle, into the path for Gary Johnson, after that it was purely academic. Chelsea 3, Swansea 0. Gary Johnson. Callaghan bounding after this ball even in the last seconds of this game. Waddle coming in on this one, but Chivers winning it well in the air for Chelsea. Bumstead, Harris, and Locke. Langley. A nice turn, and Gary Johnson is looking to be on his way again, but that time Leighton Phillips was there to get the ball back to Leatheran. Final whistle, and Chelsea have won 3-0. As the crowd then streams away, they've seen another performance that has kept Chelsea near the top of the table. Without it being entirely convincing, I must admit, but Tommy Langley's simple goal in the second half put them 2-0 up. And then Gary Johnson, the substitute, getting one right at the end there, the number 12. In between times, of course, Robbie James had hit the Chelsea crossbar and Jeremy Charles had headed one against the post. But I think there's no doubt that on the day, the right team won, Chelsea by 3-0. So as the players go off, just to repeat that final score here at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 3, Swansea 0.
So Chelsea are back on a winning path, though, as I say, I think 3-0, the defeat was a little unkind on Swansea when you consider that they hit that bar when Chelsea were leading 1-0 and later hit the post. And from that second escape, of course, Chelsea went straight down to the other end and scored a goal which may have had a touch of offside about it. But look at it again today now as Mike Fillery plays the ball down this left-hand side now to Tommy Langley. What a good game he had again back in that Chelsea side. But we freeze it there and you can see that Fillery is just short of the last line of Swansea defenders. He's not level and so he is just onside. The ball is played onto him here and Fillery, very aware as Leatheran comes out, plays the ball inside there, and the substitute Gary Johnson finishes it off. I thought it was an offside goal when I saw it yesterday, but in fact the linesman made a very good hairline decision and he was right. Equally though, Chelsea supporters might complain that they should have had a penalty, and I must admit again that my first reaction was that Tommy Langley did deserve one. But look at it again now. Remember, this came in the second half when he's pulled down by Leatheran in the Swansea goal. Here's Langley. Now, is there a contact? I think as you look at it again today, you'll agree with me that there was no contact there, but there was certainly a dive there by Tommy Langley which didn't fool the referee. So on both occasions I was wrong, the officials were right, so don't talk to me about trial by television. All right, coming up next, we stay at the top of the second division for Newcastle against Queen's Park Rangers, and then the top game of the day between Liverpool and Crystal Palace. Don't miss that. And of course your letters for good measure, and that comes up after this break.
The Big Match, production number 40018, date of recording the 16th of December 79, Chelsea v Swansea, part 3, take 1.
And welcome back. Well, we stay with the top of the second division now as we come to Newcastle United against Queen's Park Rangers. Newcastle starting the day in top position, QPR just 2 points behind them. And that's a game covered by Tyne T's cameras with the commentator Roger Thames and Newcastle in the stripes.
And he curls it in. And Woods is forced to punch that one away as Peter Withe chases after it. Can't beat the second man. David McCreary, yet another big money buy. Peter Withe, forced deep, but finding Brownlee with a very intelligent pass. It's aimed towards shoulder. Shoulder with a chance to lob. Oh, that's superbly done by Alan Shoulder. Well, that ball bounced awkwardly for Alan Shoulder, but he timed his lob and paced his lob to absolute perfection over Chris Woods, and it nestles in that far side of the goal. Shoulder. Brownlee pumping that one through first time. Hibbett. Oh, that's a fine effort from Terry Hibbett. one fell so sweetly for Terry Hibbitt's magical left foot. First time shot, and again Chris Woods very sharply across to it. Shoulder, trying his luck on the left-hand side. Still, well, that's nice control from Shanks to finally clear the ball for Rangers as they now mount this attack through Clive Allen. Goddard, and that one's in. Yes, it seemed to catch a deflection. Paul Goddard latched onto that one extremely quickly, got his shot in and seemed to get a touch on the way, and it took it out of Steve Hardwick's reach. Cassidy for Brownlee, that's a good ball from Cassidy. Rafferty nodded it back with Hibbett now, a chance for the shot. Oh, another fine save from Chris Woods, and another fine shot from Terry Hibbett. He really hit that one cleanly, but again, Chris Woods was the equal of it and turned it away for the corner. That perhaps could be the spark Newcastle were looking for as Brownlee turns this one across. Curry. Curled into the path of Glenn Roeder. Now Allen. It's fallen for Goddard, now for Gordon Hill. And that's a goal scored by Glenn Roeder. And he looks absolutely delighted about it. And that was a very good move indeed from Queen's Park Rangers, ending with the cross from Gordon Hill. Roeder made the run through the middle and timed it perfectly. And that puts Queen's Park Rangers in the lead. Cartwright. Well, I don't know how long the referee's going to carry on. He's pulled up play now for the free kick, and I would think he's going to try and do something about that dog. Who brings a dog to a football match? I really don't know. Well, whoever's dog it is obviously keeps him reasonably fit. Oh, it's a fine effort from Peter With. Well, Peter With's tackle obviously took the steam out of him. And the dog gets the red card. Must be one of the first people taking off the St James's Park pitch, coloured black and white by a policeman. Play resumes now with Hibbett. And that's a goal from Peter With. Oh, what a beautiful goal. Terry Hibbett's free kick, he's delighted. And so too is Peter With. Well, he can catch dogs and he can score goals. Well, play restarted then. Maybe the Queen's Park Rangers defence lost concentration. Hibbett didn't. His free kick was perfect, and so too was Peter With's run. Still with Newcastle and Terry Hibbett. Tommy Cassidy now. Oh, that's a great effort from Cassidy. It's hit the bar. A beautiful shot from Tommy Cassidy, a shot out of nothing. And how unlucky he was to see it rebound off the crossbar. With, this is Rafferty, but that's straight to Shanks, and Rafferty's had another go at it. And Connolly's in there. Connolly against Wicks. Cassidy. Oh, that's a superb goal from Tommy Cassidy. Oh, what a cracker. John Connolly, his close controls played a part. It came over for Tommy Cassidy, and Wacky thumped that one right in the back of the net. With Cassidy. This could be dangerous. Allen for Goddard. It's an important tackle, and Cassidy's back there, but still it's not clear. And they've equalised. No, it's offside. And there'll be some scenes now. Allen looks very, very disappointed. But the referee blew immediately. The ball went into the net. Hibbett. Rafferty. Connolly. This is Peter With. There's a chance here if he can get his shot in. And that's number 4. And Peter With puts the lid on it for Newcastle. little under a minute left. Again, Connolly comes on as substitute, and his skill helped set up the chance for Peter With. He took his time, he found his spot, and he stuck the ball past Chris Woods. Terry Hibbett with this one. Cassidy. Oh, what a save from Chris Woods, and what a shot from Tommy Cassidy. And there's no end to the action this afternoon. A great shot there from Cassidy. And yet again, Chris Woods, who's had a fine game, pushed it over the bar.
A 4-2 win for Newcastle that leaves them then at the top of the second division table, 1 point ahead of Chelsea. Both Luton and Leicester lost yesterday, as did Queen's Park Rangers, of course. Birmingham City won, and you can see what a tremendous battle they're going to be in the second half of the season for those 3 promotion places to the first. But now it's time for your letters, and as soon as we saw the incident at Crystal Palace last week where the linesman juggled with his flag, well, we thought somebody's bound to write about that because it was amusing. Brian Hall of 87 School Road at Tilehurst at Reading in Berkshire asked to see that moment again, but we thought we should add something to it. This then is the moment that Brian spotted. It was when Palace were about to make a substitution, and he was so keen to get flagging away there that he lost his flag. But mind you, that's not the first time a linesman's been in trouble on the big match this season, because in the Spurs-Nottingham Forest game, the flag actually broke. And as the linesman says to the referee, well, what do I do about that? He has to go off and, in fact, get a replacement. But, of course, the most spectacular linesman incident on the big match came way back in 1972 when this happened in the game between Arsenal and Liverpool at Highbury. A linesman, in fact, was suddenly injured, and it seemed we'd got a minor crisis on our hands. But I'm just wondering if you remember who it was that day who stepped into the breach. You'll see a little conflab in a moment, and I wonder if you'll recognise 1 or 2 faces as the linesman, poor chap, is wheeled away. Bill Shankly's there, then manager of Liverpool. Bertie Mee, then manager of Arsenal. Charlie George, I saw in the background. And then the fellow I'm sure you recognise comes on as substitute linesman.
And who should the emergency linesman be? Jimmy Hill, the man, and the crowd know it and recognise it. The man who's put referees and linesmen under the spotlight for so often, for so long, now is truly under the spotlight himself, and for something like a 50,000 crowd and television as well.
Jimmy Hill, of course, and the shoes that Arsenal gave him, I can tell you, were a size too small, and all he got for his trouble was blisters. I wonder what he's doing now. Well, it's not always possible to show all the action we'd like to show you each week, of course. We are confined to 3 matches, so we were unable to bring you last week's Burnley v Watford match, which disappointed 16-year-old John Burrows of the Jays, Croft Lane, Chipperfield, Kings Langley in Hertfordshire, and Haskell Solomon of 4 St Michael's Avenue, Hemel Hempstead in Hertfordshire, who both travelled to Lancashire for the game because they both wondered why Watford's equaliser was disallowed in the last minute. Well, this was the moment they're referring to.
Rostron. Rostron gets it across, Blissett is coming in, and Blissett has scored. No, he hasn't. It was handball, and they are not going to like that decision at all. Blissett is furious with the linesman and the referee. No, it wasn't handball, he says.
Well, let's have a look. In fact, it's not easy to discern whether or not it was handball, although you get the impression that the first contact that Luther Blissett made with it there was on his chest. What happened when he went behind those players, we can't really say, but the linesman and referee were satisfied that it was handball, and instead of getting a draw, they were beaten 1-0. Well, another fan who travelled away to see his team last week was Julian Webber of 2 Lichfield Court, Lichfield Grove, Finchley, London N3. He went with Spurs for their game at Bristol City and noticed a camera recording Tottenham's 3-1 victory. So, for all Spurs fans, here are the goals from that game.
The first Spurs goal provided a special moment for their young centre-half Paul Miller. His first league goal, and what a good one it was there, volleying in Ricky Villar's corner. And it was a lead that Spurs added to in the second half. Osvaldo Ardiles, who had a fine game, breaking forward and brought down to give Spurs a penalty. Glenn Hoddle takes the kick, just squeezes it under John Shaw, and it's 2-0. But Spurs themselves conceded a penalty to let Bristol City back into the game. It was taken by their substitute Tom Ritchie, and now it's 2-1. But there was time for Glenn Hoddle to add to his catalogue of brilliant goals this season. That header from Ardiles' cross, 3-1 to Tottenham.
And that may have made up a little bit for that defeat by Aston Villa yesterday. But before we go on to our final match today, just a quick reminder that next week is the special Christmas edition of the Big Match. And we're going to be looking back on our Christmas programmes of the 1970s, which, as I'm sure you'll appreciate, means a spectacular lineup of our special Christmas guests, among them Elton John and Peter Cook, Kevin Keegan, Rodney Marsh, Terry Venables, a look at some of the best fun spots of the 1970s, those two little Jack Russell Terriers that became such firm favourites with you, and a special guest for 1979 is Jasper Carrott, and we'll be hearing one of his favourite football stories. And in a specially extended edition of the programme, we'll also be running a Golden Goal of the Decade competition, and I can promise you that that's really spectacular action that I wouldn't want you to miss. That's the Big Match Christmas edition then, next Sunday afternoon at 2:30. Don't miss it. Our last match today is Liverpool against Crystal Palace. Liverpool's reputation, well, of course, that's worldwide. Palace's, though, is growing all the time, and after their victory against European champions Nottingham Forest last week, which, of course, you saw on this programme, all Palace supporters regarded this game as the important yardstick as to the progress they've been making under Terry Venables. Just how would this young Palace side cope with Kenny Dalglish and company, and the frightening noise that would be coming down from the Kop? Questions that were answered yesterday in front of Granada Television's cameras with commentator Gerald Sinstadt and Liverpool in their famous strip of all red.
Dalglish running right across the edge of the penalty area to come for the pass. Cannon nipped in, but Dalglish has made the header. Turned in again and chased by Souness, who's taken it away from Burridge, but into the side netting for a goal kick. Graham Souness whipped in there very smartly as Burridge was coming for it. Ball played in and deflected, and as Burridge comes, Souness is there before him, but can't cut it back. Case. Souness forced to check back, but he's still got the pass through to Dalglish, who is fouled by Cannon. Cannon included in the Scotland squad for the game against Belgium next Wednesday, where he could well find himself playing with Kenny Dalglish. Nicholas on the right of that wall as Burridge looks at it. Hilaire next to him, then Francis, and then Murphy. There they are from the front, with Phil Neal going in to cause a problem or two. Case, hammer, and well saved indeed by Burridge. When Jimmy Case hits those, a goalkeeper needs to be quick and athletic. And Case really did hit it very hard, past the wall, and Burridge saved very well. Only Clements in the Liverpool half. Corner towards Ray Kennedy's head. As though it was on for a goal, but Phil Thompson's side foot didn't work. They really hadn't picked him up in the penalty area, though. Ray Kennedy comes in on this header, and nobody has spotted Thompson. Look at the space he had. Just couldn't hook it back far enough. Sanson. Nicholas. Swindlehurst. All over his own feet. Case, harassed by Nicholas, Palace number 4. Case has wriggled away from him down that line. Dermot's cross driven low, and Johnson has it taken off his toe by Murphy, who slipped and lost it to McDermott again. Now Johnson! Doesn't that face tell a story? He thought he got one then, and really he should have done. McDermott hit it over low after Murphy had slipped. This is McDermott playing the low ball over now, and Johnson just with the side foot. Burridge hadn't a price. Alan Kennedy. Up to Ray Kennedy again. Right foot cross. Dalglish's head. Johnson, the scissors kick. Dalglish in. Burridge out, and Burridge won. And then cleared by Sanson, who stepped in very fast to clear up the last of the danger. Burridge is still down, and I think in a bit of trouble, holding his shin. He was very quick out there to thwart Kenny Dalglish. was the header across from Dalglish, and that's the overhead effort by Johnson, and Dalglish in so quickly, Burridge out equally quickly, and Sansom very swift to dribble away from danger and clear. First half now going into the time that Mr. Peck will add on, and it could well be something between 2 and 3 minutes. There. Case. Johnson to McDermott, and now they're on the move. McDermott to Dalglish, Ray Kennedy outside him. Dalglish's control was marvellous there as he hooked that down, but the defenders are back. But still there might be a way through. No, Hinchelwood has cleared it, only as far as Neil. Forward come Liverpool once more. Souness. Ah, there are 4 men in the middle. If Johnson can find one with a cross. Case with the header. Oh, what a beauty it was too! Jimmy Case. Well, they kept working patiently, and you felt that sooner or later it had to happen. Johnson plays the cross, a flick with the head by Case, and it has beaten Burridge all ends up. Cannon covering behind Sansom, whose header wasn't very good, and keeping it in play. Now Sansom with Souness coming in hard, blocked the clearance. Dalglish has lost Sansom very cleverly, but has in the end to be content with a corner because Nicholas got back to block as he tried to turn it inside. Hinchelwood on the near post. France was just behind Burridge there. Case to take the corner. That was by Johnson. Clearance by Francis. Back in again by Hansen. Cannon heading it straight up in the air. Dalglish challenging. Gilbert there. Dalglish trying to smuggle his way through and then chip it away from Burridge. What an astonishing goal by Kenny Dalglish. A mixture of cheek and genius. There really didn't seem a goal on there. He's battling away with 1, 2, 3 players round him and still manages to beat John Burridge as he plunges across. Souness, bad throw in. Dalglish. Johnson was onside. McDermott has gone into the middle. Case is coming at the back. Oh, saved by the goalkeeper's legs when it looked as though we were in for a classic Liverpool goal. Terry McDermott thwarted by a good bit of goalkeeping at the end of a marvellous move. Long, fast, determined run here by Johnson. Turned across perfectly for McDermott, and as he went to his left, Burridge got his legs in the way. Cannon. Souness. Ray Kennedy. Nobody guarding him over there, and they're all now streaming into the middle. Johnson and McDermott gets it. Came out of nothing and put away with clinical simplicity. Burridge bewildered, and well he might be. They gave Ray Kennedy so much space, and look at those 3 red shirts steaming in. Either of these two could have had the goal, and it was McDermott who claimed it. Gilbert. Hansen left Gilbert on the seat of his pants, has found Dalglish. Hansen has gone on, McDermott is there. In comes Case, here comes number 4. No! Cleared off the line after it had been blocked by Burridge. Hinchelwood who made the last clearance. Here we come again. Dalglish. Dalglish's shot blocked. But you feel that it's now only the skin of their teeth that sticks between Crystal Palace and another Tottenham Hotspur. Meanwhile, let's see again the incident where Liverpool came so close to their 4th. McDermott gets a toe to it, and out here is Case, with only Burridge between him and a goal. Burridge's left hand beats the ball down, and Hinshelwood slides in to complete the clearance. Swindlehurst putting on a burst of acceleration. And Nicholas tries the shot, which hits the bar. That's the best effort so far from Palace, turned across then by Hilaire, and it's still in play, and Swindlehurst has reached it, but only with a foul on Alan Kennedy. But that was certainly some shot. Peter Nicholas it is who hits it. He has a lot of room as Hansen goes to close him down too late, and Clemence's jump was nowhere.
Well, that was a result that would have taught Palace a lot about themselves, and Gerald Sinstadt asked Terry Venables if he'd changed in any way his high regard for Liverpool.
Nothing at all. It's an underestimation to say they're a good side, isn't it? I mean, you just mentioned that they've lost 13 games here in 10 years, which is quite fantastic, really. But even when they're not playing well, they work so hard to make things happen for themselves, you know. I think the 2 goals, one was I think he tried to flick it on, which went in the net, and the second one was a deflection. But that's not, you know, that happens too often for them to say, well, it's lucky, because they work at it and make them get lots of people in the box and put you continually under pressure.
They came at a bad time for you, too, those 2 goals.
Yeah, they got a goal just before half-time and just after half-time. I think there must have been only seconds when they scored their first goal. If we'd have gone to half-time 0-0, I think, and we'd have started believing ourselves a bit more in the second half, I think it would have been better, because a lot of these boys have not played here before, and it's a bit of an ordeal for them to come here and play. But I thought they did very well first half, and second half we was very disappointed, really.
Well, that's all for this week. Thanks again then for joining us, and please make a date next Sunday at 2:30 for the special Christmas Big Match programme. You'll not regret it. 12 goals then on the programme today, and we pick out 3 of them. First, one that turned out to be so simple for Chelsea's Tommy Langley.
And Langley is going to make it 2. The ball...
A dog had a say in things at Newcastle.
Well, whoever's dog it is obviously keeps him reasonably fit. Oh, it's a fine effort from Peter With.
And a goal came right after that incident.
With Hibbett. And that's a goal from Peter With. Oh.
At Liverpool, they make their own chances brilliantly.
In again by Hansen, Cannon heading it straight up in the air, Dalglish challenging, Gilbert there, Dalglish trying to smuggle his way through, and then chip it away from Burridge. What an astonishing goal by Kenny Dalglish!